What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to talk about a couple of new cards, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm a little bit reticent. I don't like April Fools. April Fools used to be fun. April Fools has now become, hey, I'm just gonna lie a lot and then laugh to myself, which I don't appreciate. So, there are a couple new cards that do look like they're coming around in the starter deck. They do look legit. Over on the Facebook group, everybody is treating them as real. And certainly, if it is an April Fool's joke, it is one of the lamest, most low-key April Fool's jokes you have ever seen in your life. So, I suppose that is a tiny chance, but I think we're probably going to be all right. Once again, we have got one of each of the new starter decks coming out. The Gallantmon Red starter deck and the Ulforce Digimon Blue starter deck. But we haven't actually had parallel cards revealed here. We've had a level 2 and a level 3, which, I don't know, that's a little bit weird. That makes me a little bit sad. That makes me ever so slightly uncomfortable. But we've got a Demiveemon and we've got an Agumon here. So let's start off with the Demiveemon. So Demiveemon then, we have got a level 2 blue Digimon. And as always, we've got one inheritable skill. Shout out to the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming for our translation here. They are pretty gosh darned awesome. And what we've got is, on your turn, if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, this Digimon gains 1,000 power. Now, we do need to confirm this because it is rather blurry, but actually, this does make a lot of sense. Remember that the Ulforce Digimon has got a skill whereby when you're attacking once during your turn, if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, you unsuspend this Digimon. So essentially what we've got is a pair of skills that work really nicely together. Essentially, you are hoping to get 8 or more cards in your hand, so you gain all of those advantages. Shout out to the lovely folks over at digimoncard.dev for the translated proxy of Ulforce Digimon here. That is really rather, well, makes my job easier, quite frankly. And I'm a fan of anything that makes my job easier. Is this any good? I mean, at the end of the day, you're getting yourselves an extra 1,000 power. And it is very blurry, but it's clearly a 1 and not another number there. So, honestly, you've got to ask the question here of, can we do better in terms of a blue Digitama? And frankly, I think there's a decent chance that we can. One thing I do kind of like here, the Demiveemon from BT2, when you become unsuspended during your main phase, you get an extra 1,000 power. So that's basically the same. Because if you've got 8 or more cards in hand, you will become unsuspended and then you'll gain the power. So, I mean, the difference is, of course, that the new Demiveemon, you'll have it the whole time, i.e. for both uses, whereas the old Demiveemon, you only actually get it for the second use, because the first use you have yet to unsuspend yourself. So I suppose this one is slightly better than that, although let's be clear, it is it's kind of close. I just like how similar they are, to be honest with you. Of course, this will be now the third Demiveemon we've had as a level 2. One could argue it's getting slightly repetitive. Honestly, we've got other things we can do. I mean, the Sunamon from BT5, if you Digivolve up into a Garurumon or an Omnimon, you got an extra 1,000 power. So certainly, if you're going for those kind of decks, there really is absolutely no question here. You're going to go for that one. Wanyamon can actually give you an extra 2,000 power, but your opponent has to have 2 Digimon with no Digivolution sources. So again, that is going to depend on the meta. That is going to depend how aggressively your deck gets rid of evolution sources, etc. It's cool, but it is, shall we say, not entirely perfect. I mean, the gold standard for blue Digitama up till now has still been that Uppermon from BT1. Because when you attack, if your opponent has any Digimon with no Digivolution cards, you get to draw a card. And drawing a card is awesome. So, I like this, but I've made this point before. I talked about this when we looked at Ulforce Digimon. I don't think there's going to be that many times during the game you're going to have 8 cards in hand. 8 cards in hand is a lot. An awful lot. And generally speaking, you don't. And blue have got draw, right? When it comes to trying to draw extra cards, blue are in a better position than like any other color. They have the best draw. But even bearing in mind they have the best draw, we're still talking about a comparative thing. It's not like this is a card game where you can easily draw. If you're playing a Pokemon trading card game, yeah, getting a hand of 8 cards, actually not that difficult. If you really want to make a deck to make it happen, you absolutely can. That is not where we are with a Digimon trading card game. So I would be a little bit, well, frankly, a little bit worried here. I don't know if it's going to fire all that often. I like having the extra option. I love having as many different Digitama as we can so that we can essentially change around depending on what deck we're playing. It's cool, but I'm not sure it really gives us something much better than the existing Digitama we've already got. I'm going to go ahead and give it 3 Wassies. I don't think it's terrible, but I also don't think it's necessary. But we do have a new Agumon here, and the Agumon is quite a lot better, and this is one I am expecting to see a whole bunch of play. Now, in terms of the stats here, everything is pretty much exactly what we would expect. We've got a 3 cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 2,000 power. If you're talking about a level 3 Digimon with a half-decent skill, this is exactly what we are expecting. But we do have a half-decent skill here. On your turn, when you're attacking, when you are attacking a player, bearing in mind we are talking player or security, this Digimon gains an extra 2,000 power for the turn. Cool. I like this very, very much indeed. This is nice. Now, it's only when you're attacking the player, so essentially what you're doing is protecting yourself from hitting the security. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have any red Digimon that have an inheritable skill that will give you jamming. At least I'm looking on Digimon.dev and I ain't seeing any. Jamming is not something that red Digimon tend to have. We do have the Tyrannomon that naturally has jamming, which is lovely as a level 4. But that's just on Tyrannomon. You evolve up, you lose it. This isn't jamming. Jamming, of course, being the skill that says you will not be deleted by security Digimon. We're not there yet. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we ain't a million miles away. So, I like this a lot. You Digivolve up into an Omnimon, for instance, and obviously red decks do often end up as Omnimon. And now all of a sudden what you've actually got is a 17,000 power Digimon. Which means if you attack the stack, you ain't worried. Now maybe there are some of these tricks like, I don't know, like starter deck Yellow Tamer. Maybe that can come in and really start boosting security cards. And, you know, first time we saw this TK Takaishi, I got well excited. I thought boosting security Digimon's power was going to be so much more important than it is. I was totally wrong about that. But the fact of the matter is, even if you're attacking with an Omnimon, you've got that fear of, oh, what if I hit one of my opponent's Omnimon? Well, now you're not going to. If you've got a level 6 Digimon, I don't know, something like a War Greymon, that is your average, ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill 11,000 power level 6. And the problem is that when you're attacking the stack, if you hit a level 6, you are going to be deleted. Well, good news. Now you have 13,000 power, so the chances of getting deleted by a security Digimon go down massively. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I kind of like this. It's not perfect. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. We ain't there yet, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't there. But I tell you what, there is an awful lot to get a little bit of excited about here. Yes, I know all we're really doing is adding 2,000 power. But the thing is, this adds up surprisingly quickly. I think this could be one we like an awful lot. Or maybe you're not worried about getting deleted by security Digimon. I don't know. Either way, I'm giving this 4 Wassies. This seems like a really good option. This seems like one that could absolutely help you out in a whole bunch of games. So, frankly, I like it, ladies and gentlemen. I like it. but I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching TheWasi Plays.